y'all, it's Laura, and I'm back with Scraplift Sunday, one of my favorite series on my channel that I do with Miranda Weber. And today we are scraplifting the amazing Jen Schow, or Show. I'm never quite sure how to say it. I think it's Show. Anyway, she does beautiful, beautiful layouts, and she has a brilliant series right now called Use It or Lose It, which I adore and I am watching religiously. Really, really like it. So one of her layouts from that series was the one that started just before this video, and it's of her layout of a large circle full of wood veneer and a photo placed on top. I have a ton of wood veneer. I am a bit of a wood veneer hoarder. I just love the look of it. I love the way it feels. And then I put it away and don't use it. So I have quite a lot. And I have these two photos of my kids placing flags and flowers at my dad's grave on Memorial Day. And I had this giant remember wood veneer word from Heidi Swapp, I believe. And you may have some of these too. They're just very large words that came one piece at a time. And I thought this would be an excellent opportunity to use that word. This is the perfect photos for remember. And I decided to go ahead and pop this up onto foam for two reasons. The first reason being that the wood veneer is going to be very dimensional on the page, and I want my photo to sit on top of it. But I don't want to waste all of the wood veneer underneath of this photo and just place it on top of a bunch of wood veneer. That just seems wasteful to me. So I'm going to put down my foam first and then start layering my wood veneer pieces all around where the photos are going to live. Now this remember is going to be roughly the same color as the other wood veneer. And I love the way that this looks. I do end up changing it a little bit later, but looking back at it now, I kind of wish I'd left this plain, because even though it does blend in with all of the beautiful bits and pieces that I'm going to bring in here, I love it. I just love the simplicity of it. Just the natural color of wood just makes me so happy. And so this is very, very random pieces that I'm grabbing. I started out thinking, oh, well, I'll just get stars and maybe some people and lots of little geometric shapes because that's sort of masculine, and that's what I'll start with. Well, that very quickly devolved into farm animals and a lot of very random wood veneer shapes that I did not even know I had. So down here in the bottom we've got a cat and a star and a heart and a little person and a triangle. I mean, really, these are completely random pieces. And what I did was I started with the larger pieces first, and then I'm inserting other pieces around based solely on shape. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. I am trying to avoid putting, say, two stars right next to each other or two hearts right next to each other, but I may have gotten some of them together in the end because stars and hearts are what I have in the tiny sizes, which you can see I've pulled a few out there at the bottom, and they're just sitting on the side waiting because I want to get the bigger pieces on first, and I'll just add those little bitty tiny pieces to fill in the gaps. I don't feel the need to cover every single inch of the white paper inside of the heart, but I do want it to feel like a cohesive design element and not just like a bunch of little pieces. I don't want your eye to go to any piece in particular other than the title. So I'm just adding them in kind of randomly. It's almost like a reverse puzzle. And I say that because there is no right answer to this puzzle. It's about creating the puzzle. And that for me was a fascinating and really enjoyable aspect of this layout. I would really encourage you to give this a try, even if it's not with wood veneer, even if it's just with something like stickers or cork or ephemera, puffy stickers, just whatever you have a lot of. give this type of en masse design a go. It was a lot of fun, and I really did. I feel like it was a puzzle that I was making the puzzle design. So that was a lot of fun. I have at signs in there. I have arrows and stars and geometric shapes and lots of hearts and just anything that I could find in my mass quantity of wood veneer. And this mess to the left here is not even all of the wood veneer I have. No, it's not even close. This is just the wood veneer that's open at present. And I was really excited to make a little bit of a dent in this particular stash. I'm curious, if you were to look into your stash, what is the one thing, maybe let's narrow it down. What is the one embellishment that you have a ton of, that maybe you love it and you hoard it and maybe you even use it more than I do? I would love to know, what is that one embellishment that you absolutely have to have? You walk in the store or you see it online, oh, nope, need that. And you have a ton of it. That would be awesome to know. Let me know in the comments below, what is that super favorite embellishment for you? I think if I had to pick a second favorite, mine would have to be floral ephemera. I love floral ephemera. It makes me so happy, and I do tend to buy multiple packs of floral ephemera when I buy a collection, because I love to do this floral wreaths. I love to do en masse use of floral ephemera, but this is the first time I've ever done a large quantity of wood veneer on a page, and I really, really enjoyed the overall look and the process of putting this together. It was really a lot of fun. So definitely give it a try. Now, I chose to go with a heart. First of all, I knew I wanted to use a cut file to make sure it was straight. Also, because I'm using two photos and Jen used just the one, I knew I needed a little bit more space, and I wanted to have room for my photo and also have plenty of room to fill in. And having this heart shape cut for me already made it easy to have a boundary of, okay, this is where the wood veneer stops. And I believe what Jen did with hers is she actually drew a circle, and then she used that as her boundary of where the wood veneer should stop. So definitely I would suggest that as well. Just corner off an area, create a shape if you want to, and that is where you should put your mass quantities of wood veneer. So I am going to start cleaning this up and get it all glued down. I'm not going to make you watch me glue it down. I just wanted to show you that I was being very cautious in the process of gluing things down. And in retrospect, I would have glued down those larger pieces first before fitting in the little bitty pieces, because this process was extremely tedious. The gluing down was very tedious. However, in the end, it was very worth it. The overall effect of the layout is just beautiful. At least it is to me. I did find the tonic glue pen really helpful for this, because, or if you have a fine line bottle, that would work great too, because a lot of these pieces were really small, and adding adhesive to small wood pieces is hard. So these are my photos. I have taped them together to make them a little easier to move around my page. And I've decided to pull out just a few more wood veneer pieces, mostly stars. And the reason I'm doing that is I do want to embellish very minimally on this page, because I have so many wood veneer on here. I don't feel like I need a lot of embellishment. I've already done the embellishing. And even though it's part of a design element, there's a lot going on, and I don't want to add more. I want to leave lots of white space to kind of balance the layout. So I grabbed this glitter paste from Nuvo, and it is gold. And at first I thought I was going to use my hands to add it onto the letters, but it was really just sticking to me. It was not sticking to the wood. So I grabbed a paintbrush and it worked much better. That said, I do kind of wish I had skipped this step. And Jen doesn't do this on her layout, but I felt like in person, the remember was getting lost. And it is an important aspect of this layout. I do want that word to stand out, and I wasn't sure it really was. And so I went ahead and added a little bit of gold because gold and wood veneer are very similar in tone. They're both kind of in that brown family. And I felt like it wouldn't be obnoxious as if I'd like painted it red or painted it even white. Probably would have stood out just a little bit too much. But I felt like maybe the gold would just bring it a little bit more to the forefront. And it does. But in retrospect, I probably would have left it alone. So I'm going to add gold to the entire word and also some of those small pieces off to the right. That way I can tie in that gold in other places on the layout. This layout ends up being rather simple overall from here on out, just simply because I'd already done the bulk of the embellishing. And I was very excited to do this layout, and I really enjoyed it. I think I may do more like this. And I'm really inspired to pull out more of my wood veneer, to really dive deep into my collection of it and get some of it used. I know that one of the reasons I was holding on to my wood veneer is because for a long time I had difficulty finding wood veneer. It was very popular about 3 to 5 years ago, I guess. And I wasn't really doing that kind of scrapbooking at the time, so I didn't buy any then. And just in this last year, I've been kind of mass collecting wood veneer when I find it, because I know there's a lot of companies who are not making it anymore. And especially Studio Calico was a big distributor of wood veneer. They're not really making it anymore. And I really, really wish they were, because their tiny little hearts and stars are perfect. But this case, I feel like I'm finding it more easily now, all of a sudden. And so I'm kind of giving myself permission to go ahead and use it, quit hoarding it, because you can get more. And I don't need more, but you can get it. So I have backed my photos onto some vellum just to create a little bit of a border, a little distinction from the background. And then I'm going to add just some tiny little alphas to say this. So the title is Remember This. And then I have one of those little Studio Calico potty people in the man shape, and I'm going to have it added right there. So we have Remember This Man. This is, of course, referring to my dad, who was in the military, so he is in a veterans cemetery. And I was very excited to be able to take my kids and show respect and honor to my dad on Memorial Day. He is not someone who really touted his military service. He didn't make a big deal about it at all. And for him, it was a 3 years of time spent in the Army. He wasn't a lifelong member of the military or anything like that. And so I think for him, it wasn't necessarily quite as deeply important to him as maybe it was to other people. But I had a great respect for him for the service that he gave to the military and for the service that my family, I have both of my grandparents on my mom's side were in the military as well, and I have such deep respect for people who are willing to take on that incredible responsibility to serve for our country, because I know me personally I would struggle. I would struggle so much with that responsibility, and I cannot be more grateful to people who do take that on. And when I have so many family and friends who have children and grandchildren in the military, and I just see the struggles those family goes through, missing their loved ones. And I think, such strength, amazing strength. And so I'm just going to add in my journaling that I was thankful I was able to share this moment with my kids and show them how important it is to honor the people who serve our country. Also adding in the date so I know where to put it in my album for sure. I'm just going to add in some Heidi Swapp Color Shine in gold, and this layout will be done. I hope you stayed through till the end, and definitely check out the description box below for Miranda's layout, lifted from Jen as well. Guaranteed it's a different one. Thanks so much for joining me, you guys, and until next time, bye!